Hello everyone, welcome to the Mind Ranks channel. My name is Alex. On this channel, we do practical philosophy. We break down what actually works in real life, what recommendations you can actually implement, and how to make your life better. Today, I want to put together a tier list of the best and worst decisions you can make in your youth. Those choices you make between the ages of 20 and 30 that largely determine the entire trajectory of your life. I'm building this tier list based on my personal experience. Almost every situation on this list is something I've either lived through myself or watched happen to people close to me. So let's sort everything into 5 tiers, and here's a quick rundown of the mechanics. Bottom tier, game over. This is for decisions that if you make them in your youth, you'll be dragging their consequences with you for the rest of your life. You'll spend years recovering, and there's no guarantee you ever will. Fatal mistakes that sink your position beyond repair. Next, destroys. This tier is for decisions that slowly but surely pull you under. Negative, destructive choices that will poison your life over time. Best avoided. Next, debatable. These are decisions that could give you valuable experience, but could just as easily waste your time, money, and energy. Ambiguous. We'll dig into the nuances. Next, useful. These are decisions that will accelerate your progress significantly. Practical choices you can actually adopt and see measurable results from. Finally, the top tier, win. This is the essential foundation. If you want to build anything meaningful in life, you must make these decisions in your youth. They're the bedrock for everything that follows. All right, let's dive in. Spending money on status symbols destroys. What do I mean by that? Buying expensive clothes, upgrading to the latest iPhone every year just to look richer in front of people who don't actually care about you. Let me tell you, 99% of people never think about you when you're not in the room. They forget what you were wearing 2 minutes later. If you're consciously burning money on appearances instead of investing in yourself, you're wasting resources on something that will never pay off. You're buying a pretty wrapper while neglecting what's inside. Pointless. Paying off debt? Useful. Paying back money you owe, whether to parents, friends, or banks, is an instant mental relief. When you owe someone, you can never be 100% relaxed. I've seen people crushed by debt, and the psychological weight is brutal. Even when you try to rest, that pressure stays with you. So settle your debts as soon as possible. The only thing better than paying off debt is not creating it in the first place. Until that weight is gone, you won't have real peace of mind. Living on your own, win. This is one of the best decisions you can make in your youth. As long as you live with your parents eating mom's cooking, you can't consider yourself a full adult. You're not a man, you're a house pet being spoon-fed. You stay a child. Living alone is shock therapy that forces your brain to finally take responsibility. When you're in a greenhouse, you don't worry about utilities, rent, or where food comes from. It just materializes. When you live alone, you realize you and only you are responsible for your life. It's the best cure for immaturity. The moment I moved out, my productivity skyrocketed. If you're over 20 and still at home, it's time to change, unless you're caring for elderly parents. Otherwise, it's dragging you down. Taking out loans for wants, game over. Credit cards, microloans, borrowing for things you don't need. This is catastrophic. I've watched friends in their early 20s rack up debt and get trapped for years. Interest keeps piling up. You had a little fun, bought some stuff that gave you nothing in the end, and now you're stuck. Until you clear that debt, you can't live normally. Seen it happen. Game over. Living off savings without purpose destroys. I rephrase this as sitting around doing nothing on your savings. I made a solid chunk of money once and took 6 months off. No work, nothing. Sounds like a dream, right? It was miserable. I fell into a gray zone. Why? Because when you have a cushion and do nothing, your brain checks out. You lose your edge. If you're not building anything, you're just burning time. I need purpose. I need a project. Living off savings with no direction destroys you. Health checkups win. Getting a full medical checkup in your 20s is a massive win. Very few people do it. You identify risks early, and you can monitor them. Most people only see a doctor when it's too late. Health is something you protect while you have it. Regular checkups, blood work, physical activity, that gives you energy, keeps you young, and lets you channel that energy into your work. Non-negotiable. Dropping out without a backup plan, game over. I know people who quit university because they didn't like it. With no plan B, they regret it. They wasted years and still don't know what to do with their lives. If you're 100% sure of your path and education is holding you back, fine, quit and go all in. But if you're quitting blindly, you're jumping out of a moving car. Don't do it unless you have clear vision. Starting your own project? Win. Creating content, building something from scratch, this rewires your brain from a consumer to a creator. While everyone else scrolls reels and shorts, wasting their time, you're producing, sharing ideas, finding like-minded people, and potentially monetizing your skills. Buying a car? Debatable. On one hand, a car gives you freedom to travel and ditch public transport. On the other, maintenance will eat your nerves and money. I personally spent the car's value just to keep it running. In your 20s, a nice car is rare. Usually it's a beater. So there are pros and cons. Weigh it yourself. Quitting your job to pursue your own thing? Debatable. I respect anyone brave enough to do this. Most people stay in jobs they hate forever, but there's a catch. If you're a valuable employee with a solid career path, trading that for a shaky business idea might not be wise. I did it myself, risky, even reckless, but I had blind faith that it would work. And it did. But that's not the norm. Most people won't have that outcome. Only do this if you're truly confident and willing to own the consequences. Putting off relationships destroys, delaying intimacy or relationships as an excuse for loneliness. I need to achieve X first is an illusion. The perfect conditions never come. If you keep waiting until you have the money, the car, the apartment, you'll keep waiting forever. Meanwhile, life passes. There will never be a perfect time. Only you can create it and take the leap. Changing your social circle, useful. Cut out complainers, crabs in the bucket, people who drag you down, anyone whose only interest is gaming and stagnation, remove them ruthlessly. You'll lose nothing. Surround yourself with people who are already where you want to be. This is crucial. Do it young and you'll have a massive advantage. Grad school, debatable. On one hand, it's status, credentials, a deferral from the real world. On the other, it's bureaucracy that eats time and energy. I've done both, master's and now PhD. If it's your genuine choice and you can balance it with work and projects, fine. But if you're hiding from adult life playing perpetual student, that's a fatal mistake. Proceed with caution. Chasing people destroys. Chasing people who don't respect you and friends or romantic interests drains your energy. If you're trying to win over people who don't want you, you're wasting your time. What's meant for you stays. Build yourself, and the right people will be drawn to you naturally. You won't need to chase anyone. Mindless phone scrolling destroys. Scrolling for empty dopamine is what 98% of young people do. It gives you nothing. While you scroll, someone else is building their life. You're stuck in a swamp, simple as that. Going to therapy, win. I applaud anyone brave enough to face their fears and seek therapy. It's scary. I know. If you recognize your issues and decide to untangle them with a professional, you're investing in your mental health and maturity. That's a privilege of high-tier people. Do it. Investing, debatable. Investing is generally good, and you're not burning money on nonsense, but it's a huge field, and many people treat it like gambling, chasing crazy returns, and they blow their entire account. If you don't understand risk management, you'll end up broke, only for those who take full responsibility. Moving abroad, debatable. Many think relocation magically solves everything. Sometimes it is necessary. There are places where life becomes unbearable. But if you're running from yourself, I'll break the bad news. Wherever you go, you wake up with the same problems. You can't escape your own mind. As the saying goes, putting a sick man on golden sheets doesn't heal him. Living for approval, game over. If you live by others' script, family, society, you're signing away your life. At 40, you'll wake up realizing you wasted your real life. Your dreams, ambitions, gone. The train left. That's game over. Going to the gym, win. The gym started my entire self improvement journey. It's not just about muscles, it's discipline, mental health, and learning to push through pain and resistance. Every time you overcome laziness, you train your willpower. If I hadn't gone to the gym, I'd probably be scrolling shorts right now, achieving nothing. Marrying too young slash out of boredom, game over. Getting married at 20 to the first girl you fell for, hoping to fill an inner void with a stamp in your passport, that's delusional. You're ignoring divorce statistics, hoping your story is different. You're immature. You haven't lived. If you marry without truly knowing yourself or your partner, you'll end up divorced, drained, and burdened with obligations. Bad decision. Learning to make money outside of a job. Useful. If the only way you can earn is through a salary, you're not diversified. If that source disappears, what then? You need to learn how to generate income independently, build skills that can sustain you through setbacks. Start in your 20s, and in 5 to 10 years, you'll be miles ahead of your peers. Traveling in your youth, useful. When else are you going to see the world and understand how other people live? It expands your mind like nothing else. I didn't go abroad until I was 23, and it changed my perspective completely. Do it while you're young. Your 20s are the foundation decade. Every major decision you make or avoid shapes the rest of your life. Some choices compound into freedom, health, and success. Others compound into debt, regret, and stagnation. You don't have to get everything right. You just have to avoid the fatal mistakes and stack enough winning decisions that the momentum carries you forward. There's no perfect path, but there is a path, and you have to walk it yourself. Take responsibility. Start now, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, because they never will be. This isn't about being harsh. It's about being honest with yourself, because the person you'll be at 40 is already being built by the choices you make today. Build someone you'll be proud of. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and keep building.